Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So I'm back again. It's been a few days of me playing. Probably the biggest thing was waiting for my MV miner to finish mining in the Nether, the node that I had, and so that I could pull it up and move it over to the Twilight Forest and mine up one of the sapphirite veins that I had. And the reason I did that is because sapphirite is a good source of both aluminum and oxygen, and it's gotten me to the point now where I have two advanced combustion generators there, and I have all the stuff that I needed in order to make another two to give me the 4 advanced combustion generators that I wanted in order to power my EBF. So a little bit later on today, I'm going to be moving my EBF somewhere over, maybe even underneath this guy here, right down under there. Haven't quite decided yet, but having it near my diesel supply so that I can just have it, maybe I can make a couple of stock keepers or even one stock keeper and keep, say, an ultra low voltage fluid tank like this guy next to next to it with a stock keeper so that I can fuel all 4 of those combustion generators. That would probably be a good thing, just so that I can keep an EBF running a lot of the time. There you can see the leftovers of my green sapphire dust and my regular sapphire dust. To give you another update, so something I learned, and I didn't realize this, the forestry multi-farm I originally thought could not handle these essence ore berries. And the reason for that is because if I go upstairs to where I rebuilt them, you'll notice that some of these guys are harvested and some of them aren't. Well, I grabbed my crop analyzer, and when I open it up, you can see that even with the green berries displayed on them, they are only at crop size 3 of 4 down in that lower left corner. What that means is that these guys aren't fully grown. I can right click them and I can sometimes get some berries off of them, but as far as the forestry farm is concerned, those guys are not fully grown. And so it waits until they are a 4 out of 4 before it harvests them. So I was sitting them at the 3 level and they weren't being harvested, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why, and it's because they're not fully grown. So down here, I have actually started collecting the concentrated essence berries as well as the peanuts and just keeping those guys going. The reason I wanted the concentrated essence berries was because I can put them in a fluid extractor, and every 4 should give me a bucket of experience that I can then use over in the crafting station in order to get me sources of gallium. So I've been using my medium battery buffer. I need to get more fertilizer for those guys, and then there is the EBF that I plan on moving. You can see I've got a surplus of charcoal now over here, and I have more than enough. I've got almost 2,500 buckets of creosote oil, so I will probably want to switch that. Maybe I need to build another super tank and switch it to something like the wood vinegar so that I can use that a little bit later. One other development that I've had since the last video, I am going to run over here. And this is my IC2 crop farm that I've been using for crossbreeding and things. A lot of it's wheat, but I've been trying to get various different things. And I've been crossbreeding a bunch of different seeds. So when I was opening the bags, if you remember, I had Nickelback and Argentea. So Nickelback gives you the Nickelback leaves, which you can use to them in the chemical reactor with certain ores, and get, instead of 1 crushed, you can get 4 purified from them, as well as usually a little bit of molten metal in one way, shape, or form. Same thing for the Argentea. If we take a look at that, in the chemical reactor, you can use the crushed silver and get some purified silver or a little bit of molten lead, or you can do it just straight with crushed galena and get purified galena with nothing else. So I started by crossbreeding those guys, and so far I've gotten tine, which is the tin version of these plants. I've gotten tear stalks, which oddly enough, when you harvest them, give you gassed tears. I've got one more that I'm waiting for it, and I've been slowly clearing it out every once in a while, making sure that I don't get weeds. Unfortunately, that's what happened here. I had weeds, it spread to this block, so I just culled them both. And now over here I have Olivia, which Olivia is for the olivine ore. So I've got a way of getting that. But the most impressive one is the one right here in the middle. And I need to put a block of iron, not iron ore, but actually a block of iron underneath it, because this is the magic metal berry, ore berry bush. That guy, when it grows, if you have an iron or thaumium block underneath it, you can probably guess from the second option, it will give you thaumium nuggets when you harvest it. Likewise, if you have a void block made from void ingots and you put it under it, it will drop void nuggets that you can then use. So that's a pretty exciting plant to have. I really should dig down and slap an iron block there to get that guy to start growing, because if you saw, he's got 0 of 500 growth points towards him, towards the next size, and that's simply because I don't have a block under it that I should have under it. So yeah, that is what has been going on lately for me. The impressive thing is finally getting these 4 advanced combustion generators, so I can actually come over here and I can mark that off of my list. And so once I move the EBF, I'm going to get more. I've got quite a bit more aluminum dust that I can start making use of, and I can start working on things like the advanced compressor, macerator, advanced centrifuge. And I did make a decision. What I decided I wanted to do is, once I make the centrifuge, because the centrifuge is 4 of them, I guess I can actually mark off the advanced macerator just because I received one for free from the loot bags, if you remember from the last episode. The centrifuge needs 4 of the MV tier circuits, and if we take a look, we only get 2 from the rewards. So rather than going for the tier 3 loot bag, I'm probably going to go for those MV circuits that I can then use to make the advanced compressor, which only needs 2 of them, but quite a bit more aluminum in the form of pistons. Same thing with the so making the centrifuge, making the compressor. I would like to make the fluid extractor, one, because it's this quest here. Again, it gives 2 chips after it's done. But the other thing about getting the advanced fluid extractor is that I can then make a better set of my crossbow bolts. Where do I have? So there's my crossbow, which is fairly nice. I've got a really nice crossbow, but I need to make a set of darts, and the crossbow darts require, like say, the magnolium tool rod for the quest, and then it wants it tipped. And one of the easiest tips is iron, but you need the fluid extractor to make the molten iron, and then after that you need the fluid solidifier in order to make the press it down into the actual bolt. So the idea is to make the centrifuge, then jump over to the compressor, then come down to the fluid extractor, and I will recover the same chips that I need for each of those guys, and then I can come in and make the fluid solidifier. And then once the fluid solidifier is done, I believe I am going to take a look at the MV chemical reactor, and we'll just keep on moving from there forward. I still need to make the MV steam turbine just so that it unlocks whatever might be in this large open empty space. At least I'm hoping that's what unlocks it. But yeah, looking forward to doing some more. Unfortunately for me right now, it is just after midnight my local time, so I'm going to be shutting the server down and getting some sleep for work tomorrow. But I will be back again tomorrow to try and get some more of this done. So I look forward to seeing you the next time I'm on. Till then. And I'm back. It's been another day in real life. Didn't get to play much longer since I recorded the last little bit. However, I do have everything I need in order to make my advanced centrifuge. And then I also have all the stuff I need in order to make the advanced compressor. While those two quests mark themselves as complete, I also wanted to show you guys that I now have my EBF over here. It is hooked up with 4 advanced combustion generators that I built, my 2 medium voltage battery buffers that are sitting underneath, and then a low voltage fluid tank filled to the brim with diesel. And I even went so far, I had an extra stock keeper chip, so I grabbed that guy who stocks it with diesel cells, and then I had to make an extractor in order to pull out the empty cells. But that does mean that this system supplies itself. So right now I still have to hand send oil through the system in the form of cans of oil so that it can process this stuff. But I still have a surplus of 57 buckets of diesel, and then my my polyethylene has been slowly growing. I'm up to 34 buckets worth. Well, I shouldn't say that's 34 buckets because polyethylene cells are only 144 each, so 34,000 millibuckets of molten polyethylene should last me quite a long time. With those 2 quests done, like I said before, I'm going to grab these good electronic circuits from here rather than going after the loot bags on those. The next thing I'm going to be working on is my advanced fluid extractor, as well as the fluid solidifier here. So those are my next 2 things I want to work on building. And because the fluid extractor gives me 2 other circuits like that, I'm trying to decide whether I want to go after the chemical reactor or if I want to go after the MV bending machine. The chemical reactor would be nice simply because it says it says to make polyethylene, but there are a few things that the chemical reactor can do. The polyethylene that it's talking about is actually a what do you want to call it? It's a higher level craft using, I think it's like ethanol or methanol and a couple other things in order to make stuff. But yeah, I believe in the last video I also showed off that I had a couple of interesting plants over here, and since then I've gotten a couple more interesting plants. I have, let's see here, grab out my crop analyzer here, put that bucket away. And here I have, yeah, Faru, which will grow, I believe that's iron nuggets there. If not, it might, I don't know exactly what that drops. I'm going to have to go look that up. And then this other one over here is the Olivia, which drops olivine. One of the reasons I would like to build the MV bending machine is because I can make the spade from, what is this, Crops Plus Plus, I believe? Yeah, Crops Plus Plus spade, and it requires these dense steel plates, which are, of course, 3 triple steel or just 9 regular steel to compress into these dense plates. But as you can see, the spade counts as a weeding trowel, a shovel, and a hoe all in one, and it's indestructible, as well as yielding more seed bags. So that is actually good for when I'm trying to pull up some of these guys to try and get other seed bags in order to make more stuff. This guy right here, however, I think he's fully grown. Yes, he absolutely is. And if I am lucky, I am not lucky. All right. Well, when you harvest these guys, that if you saw, that's a tear stalk. It will drop gas tears when you harvest it. So that is an interesting one to look forward to trying to duplicate later on in order to get more of the more gas tears. And again, the interesting thing with that is the fact that my multi-level farm up here has been able to get me, let's go take a look because I think it just did another harvest of those berries up there. Yeah, I've got 7 stacks of the concentrated essence berries, and those guys are nice because every 4 of them makes a bucket of experience if you use the fluid extractor. So I will probably do that, use the fluid extractor in order to get out buckets of experience that I can then use to get the gallium until I get the plant that I need over there and the HV macerator in order to have a chance at getting the full things of gallium dust from macerating the shoot, what is it? Which one is it? Sphalerite. The sphalerite dust. So yeah, things are coming along nicely. The biggest thing is probably actually having this EBF set up using the diesel fuel with 4 of the generators around it powering those battery buffers and running this thing. It overclocks it anytime I'm doing stuff like steel or the aluminum. But I need to have that for the stainless steel. Now, for those of you who don't know, when the EBF overclocks, or when anything overclocks, if it has the capability of overclocking, it draws 4 times the power, but it halves the crafting speed of the item. So the nice thing is that yes, it quadruples it, but overall, because it halves the speed, it only costs you twice as much energy in order to make those same items. So for steel and aluminum, yes, I'm consuming twice as much energy as I have to, but it does make it very nice in that it's crafting it faster, and now, of course, I'm ready for my stainless steel. So the stainless steel, I have quite a bit of oxygen from my electrolyzer running over here. I've got 364 buckets of that. I've got 755 buckets worth of the hydrogen, which this guy uses in order to keep producing the diesel fuel. So things are coming along nicely there. I can use some of that oxygen, put it in the EBF, and be able to craft some stainless steel in 60 seconds instead of 80 seconds. So I may do that, but it's definitely something I am going to start doing because I have, how many do I have? Yeah, I've got that 72 stainless steel there that I want to try and get through in order to finish this quest up, which should then unlock Tier 4 with the HV setup. I'm just trying to clear up some of these other quests because it is nice to get those loot bags for doing the other quests, in addition to the fact that some of these quests unlock in other places. I believe it's this guy right here, the basic scanner. I need to make the basic scanner in order to open more stuff here with the IC2 crop breeding stuff. And so it really behooves you to go through and complete some of these other quests. I'm not sure how many of these guys link up with other quests, but it's something I may want to look into doing just so that it unlocks other stuff so that I get the full quest line for each of these things done. Yeah, so I'm going to get back to work on making those other couple of machines, and I'll join you back here once I have a few more of them made. Alright, I'm back one more time. Took me a little while. I built up quite a bit more aluminum in order to make all of the stuff I needed, but I have it all now for the advanced fluid extractor. And then let's see here. Oops, that's the one I just made. I need the advanced fluid solidifier. So pumps, glass. Oh, I may not have a chest. And I didn't mean to sleep, I meant to click. I guess that still works though. So I need chip, glass. Right, is that what it was? Pumps. Oh, the chips are down below. Pumps go there. No, pumps go across the top. Wires go there, and then I need a chest. Do I have any pre-made? Probably not. Oh, I do. Excellent. There's that. There's my, so I have the compressor, the centrifuge, the fluid extractor. There is the fluid solidifier. All right, let's see here for this guy. I'm going to go for the loot bag. For this guy, I'm going to do the chips because I need those chips in order to make this guy. So pistons, chips, motors, cable. Pistons, chips, motors, cable, and my wrench. And there is my advanced bending machine. Fantastic. And this guy gives you 8 dense steel plates and a loot bag, so I will definitely appreciate that. Oh, and then they have the passive chunk loader. Let's see here. Personal anchors, passive anchors. Personal anchors are loaded after the player visits. Passive loads only after the visits, but stays loaded until the server resets. So I don't necessarily need this guy, simply because he is really useful on servers. Well, actually, this guy is better than the one that I have. The personal anchor, as soon as I log off, that's fine. This one, it'll do it anyway because I'm not running a local server. I'm running a local... I'm running a single player game, so when I log off, it'll log off anyway, and then I just have to go back and visit it. But it does give me a second loader. I ended up making a stack of steel. The EBF powered with 4 MV combustion generators is very nice because steel takes 2.5 seconds each, so a stack of steel roughly takes you 3 minutes to make. It's very handy. But that gets us to the advanced bending machine is done, the advanced fluid solidifier is done, and the advanced fluid extractor is done. Now the nice thing about getting all of that stuff done is now I can make a vanadium steel bolt after making an alumite tool rod. Oops, the only thing I'm going to probably need to drag this guy out and put these guys here. Let's see. We'll just start with the bending machine there. And then I think I have a couple more copper wires there. So I can slap these guys down real quick. And I want the fluid extractor next to the fluid solidifier. And then I can wrench that to the side so that he'll output to it. And then, let's see, we'll do the centrifuge here and the compressor there. And because if you shift when you right click them down, they automatically connect, which is very helpful when you, especially like here, if I want to stick something there, hold down shift and then right click it into there and it'll automatically connect rather than having to right click it, then get out the wire cutters and then shift click a corner so that you can connect it from this side. Let's see here. This guy, I can produce a bit more aluminum if I need to. I still have 3 plates that I accidentally made too many plates and 9 ingots just sitting there. So realistically, I want to eventually get to the chemical reactor, the chemical dehydrator, and the press. I should again still do the steam turbine. That guy just takes 1 MV chip, so maybe I'll craft up another set of chips in order to make one of these guys and unlock that stuff. but that will be for the next video. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. There you can see the better bolts, and they want the vanadium steel ingot. They want the magnolium tool rod in order to make a magnolium bolt. I don't necessarily want the magnolium. I've been told that the alamite bolt is a bit better at the MV level. Let's see here. I had them. What did I do with them? I would have put them somewhere because I already had all of those things crafted for the previous quest, which is up here in LV for these guys in order to get that stuff done. So let's see, where would I have put it? Hate it when it lags and I move. There's my vanadium steel. There's my magnolium tool rod. There we go. So both of those. And then as you saw, I've made a slimely fletching for the bolts that I want to make. I have a leaf fletching to use with the magnolium tool rod, and I'm probably just going to use a piece of iron for that, just so that I get the iron there onto this rod to make these the first set of bolts. They say iron bolts there, so yeah, definitely want to go with that. And then I can start running around the nether and sniping mobs and leveling up that stuff. So I'll do that off camera, and then I may actually end up tackling this stuff, making some light concrete, because that would be nice. I would like to make some paths that run out and around, and then I'll start maybe filling in the inside of my base at some point. So yeah, a little bit of base beautification incoming within the next couple episodes, and otherwise we will catch you next time. Till then.